Hey everybody, happy Monday. I'm going to get started with today's lesson. Today we are going to start a new skill. So today I'm going to intro it to you. We're going to go over some book problems, but now your work for today is going to be a review from last week, adding and subtracting fractions, because I don't think we're going to get very far today to where you'll be comfortable enough to work actually with mixed numbers. So as I told you Friday in your slideshow, we're going to start a new skill today, and it is mixed numbers. All right. So what is a mixed number? So I would like for you to join me on page 417 in your book. Go ahead and pause me so that you can get there, because I want you taking these notes with me as we go. All right. Tomorrow we'll take a few more notes in your journals, and then you'll be ready to work on mixed numbers. All right. So page 417. All right, so our goal today is to be able to recognize mixed numbers and to decompose them, okay? And it's actually a lot easier than it sounds, so just bear with me, all right? So at the top of 417, let's talk about the real world problem we have here. It says Mr. Fox has 2 3/6 loaves of cornbread, okay? Each loaf was cut into 1 size 6 pieces. 1/6 size pieces, excuse me. So what they're talking about is they've taken a loaf of bread and they've divided them into 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Okay. So if he has 14 people over for dinner, is there enough bread for each person to have one piece? Okay. So let's look at the questions over here. So what is the size of one piece of bread? All right. Well, it's divided into 1/6 sizes. So we have each piece is divided, or each loaf of bread is divided into 1/6 pieces. All right, so how much bread does he need for 14 people? So if there's 14 people and each one is divided into 1/6, so we need 14 1/6 pieces. So that means we need enough pieces for each person to have one. And the question is, are there enough? That's what we're going to figure out. Okay, and we're going to use this by discussing mixed numbers. So a mixed number is a number that is represented by a whole and a fraction, so a mixture of numbers. Okay, so as you see 2 3/6 here and a few times on your page here, that is what a mixed number looks like. You have a whole number and then your fraction is next to it. Okay, so we're going to break 2 3/6 apart to see if we actually have enough pieces. We need 14 pieces, but this 2 wholes, like, we need to know exactly what that means. So they're going to decompose this number. All right, so just hang tight with me and make sure you're taking notes in your book. So we're going to take 2 apart. And so what added together could make 2, right? So we're going to divide this up into 1 plus 1, because 1 plus 1 is 2. We're going to have 1 whole plus the 3/6. All right, so that's how much cornbread he has. All right, we're going to take it one step further and we're going to say, well, exactly how many pieces are in this 1 whole? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces in this 1 whole. Do you see that? So they divided our whole into 6 pieces, because that's how many slices he sliced his cornbread into. And so 6 pieces makes 1 whole. So I'm going to take this whole that we just talked about and I'm going to put it in our equation. So 6/6 is one of the 2 whole loaves that he has. Well, here's the other whole loaf he has. Okay. And how many pieces make up that loaf? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we know that because any number over itself means a whole fraction. Okay. So 6/6. And then what do we have left? We still have the 3/6 that are left. So watch this. We're going to take our mixed number and we're going to form it into a funky looking fraction. And that fraction is actually going to be called an improper fraction, but it's going to help us answer this question. So how many total pieces of the cornbread does he have? Well, you can count all of these green or blue, whatever that color is. You can count all of those pieces, or you can do 6 plus 6 plus 3. So 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 plus 3 is 15. And if you wanted to prove it, you could come up here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So he has 15 total pieces, and they were all divided into 6. Okay, so 2 wholes, 2 3/6, written as an improper fraction, means a total of 15 pieces. Okay, so they've broken it up here so that you can see one of the wholes is 6 out of 6, another whole is 6 out of 6, and then we have 3/6 left. So there's a total of 15 pieces in all of his bread. All right. So there are 15 6 size pieces in 2 3/6. Okay, so yes, there is enough for all of his guests to have the piece of bread. All right, let's look at it a different way. Now they're going to give you, you might have to turn the page here. In fact, I think you do, or it's next to it, whatever it is. 418, page 418. So let's look at this other example. Now they're going to give it to us as an improper fraction, and they're going to ask us to write this improper fraction as a mixed number. Oops, sorry. To weave a bracelet, Charlene needs 7 pieces of brown thread, and each thread must be 1/3 yards long. Okay, so she has 7 pieces, 1/3 yard long each. Okay, so how much thread would she need to buy to weave the bracelet? All right, so we're going to decompose 7/3. Okay, so we've done this before on warm up. So really, 7/3 is 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 all the way to the end. Remember, because your denominator does not change, you only add the numerators. So we have 7 and 1/3. Okay. So now what we're going to look at is, I think it's right underneath for you guys, is, well, let's take all of those thirds and let's make them into wholes. So we know that 3/3 equals 1 whole. So I have these 3 are 1 whole. These 3 are another whole. And then what's left? Just this 1/3. So to write 7/3 as a mixed number, I have 1, 2 wholes. And what's left over? 1/3. So Charlene should buy 2 1/3 yards of thread. Okay, so what this would look like as a picture is 2 holes, 1, 2, 3. So what my pieces are divided into threes, okay? Of course, those are perfectly even, right? So 2 holes, so I need 7 total pieces shaded is what this is telling me. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So this is how, because I shaded 7 pieces, right? I have that ended up giving me 2 whole circles because they were divided into thirds, right? So now I have 2 whole circles and what's left is 1/3. Okay. So that's the visual there to help you see that. No, it's not drawn very clearly, but okay. Now I want you to look here at the number line because a mixed number does equal an improper fraction, okay? So 1 whole, they've divided this one into 6, okay? They're saying that it's divided into 6 pieces, and you can tell that by the denominator. So 1 whole equals 6 6. So what does 1 and 1/6 equal? Well, that would be 6 6 plus 1/6 would be 7 6. Okay, so then 8 6 is going to be 1 whole. I'm going to take 6 6 out of it because I took my whole out. And if I subtract, I'm going to get 2 6 left. Okay, so 1 and 2 6. So you'll see a pattern here, 1 and 1 6, 1 and 2 6, 1 and 3 6, and 1 and 3 6 is going to be 6 7 8 9 over 6. Okay, and I'm going to let you guys finish the pattern. So go ahead and fill it out. I'm not going to continue filling it out because if you just follow this pattern, this will help you. This will be a good visual for you to refer to. Okay. So I want to show you one more time. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do this one. Let's focus on 3 2/3. I want to show you one more time what I meant by how I got the improper fraction out of this. Okay, so how many total thirds are in 3 2/3? Well, it's not just 2/3 because I have 3 holes, all right? So I'm going to take my shapes and I'm going to, I know I have 3 holes. And then my last fraction, it says that I have 2/3. So I'm going to, oopsies, that's not going to work. I'm going to divide my shapes into 3. I still have the eraser. Okay, so I know that I have 2/3 shaded here. So 1, 2. Okay, so my denominator tells me how many pieces that each of my shapes is divided into. So I'm going to go ahead and